Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio, C2C We're live on the air through Spreaker.com/corner to corner, of course, the webpage, and all of your favorite podcast distribution sites, Apple, Amazon, Google Play, Spotify, or iHeartRadio, all that stuff. I'm Stan Grubb, my tag team partners. Brian Taylor's here.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Rob Hefner is here.
What's up?
Does anybody do that anymore? Are we just the old guys that keep it moving? Boy, oh boy. Today, we come into today's show with not a topic, just conversation, I think. Not a lot going on, not tons of stuff. Money in the Bank was this past weekend. I'm not going to lie, I watched a little of it. Didn't watch a lot of it. And as you can hear, Shayna Baszler's on television, so my wife is cheering. She did, however, turn on Ronda Rousey, which, I don't know, none of this shit makes any sense to me anyway, but apparently Ronda Rousey has a hard out for her contract. SummerSlam's supposed to be the last date. Before she finishes up with WWE, I'm gathering she wants to finish this feud with Shayna and most likely put Shayna over, is my guess.
So another pointless angle that no one cares about.
Yeah.
So Shayna will get 2 months of positive TV, and then after SummerSlam, she'll probably be relegated to chasing after whatever the new 24/7 title is.
I don't even think she's going to get that good exposure on TV.
I'm going to guess and say that Ronda positions it so Shayna looks like an idiot. Because Ronda just doesn't seem to understand like how these feuds really work. She just wants to make herself look good, and that's it. Like, she doesn't care about her opponents or the story or anything. Even though her and Shayna are friends, I think she'll still end up burying her somehow. Wait, what? Ronda's going back to MMA? Oh, that looks great for her. So apparently Amanda Nunes is retiring. So Ronda's going back to UFC. Good for her. Eesh, that's bad.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's bad, but good luck to her, right? I
mean, didn't Nunes beat her, like knock her out, seriously?
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch MMA.
I've watched.
And that's the one that kicked her in the face?
Yeah, that's the one, Rob. Yeah, the knockout that's most famous, the one where she kicked her right clean in the face and dropped her on her ass. Yeah.
But I mean, the joy is if she goes back, she's not on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
she's
that's
not
true.
in the WWE. So good luck to her.
We wish you well.
Get out of here.
You know, get away from the TV. You're going to hurt your eyes, you dummy. Drooling on the television. Nobody cares about Shayna. They're lucky the fans even know who she is. But that's only because they put her name placard on the big screen. You ain't going to kill nobody. Anyway. I'm trying to think. Okay, so the results that I know of for sure and everything else I don't. Mr. Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. Miss Money in the Bank, Io Sky. That women's match, I did catch the finish of it. That one was kind of neat. There was a handcuff spot there where I think Trish and Zoe Stark were trying to handcuff Becky Lynch. Well, Becky breaks away. She goes to the ladder. She's trying to climb up. And as she's trying to climb up, Bayley cuts her off. No, I know that. Shut your mouth. Let me finish my sentence.
Yeah.
Watch the bucktooth Shayna. And good Lord. Anyway, so Becky's climbing the ladder. Io Sky sees Bayley going after her. So as Becky and Bayley are both going to the top, she grabs the cuffs and handcuffs Bayley and Becky, so neither one can get to the ladder and climbs over both of them. It was actually a pretty cool finish, I thought. And you know what? Io Sky's brand new to it, so that's cool. Not brand new to the business, but a new person that they're spotlighting.
Yeah, so, like, for me, she may get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you putting it on Damian Priest? Like, that makes absolutely zero sense, right?
Yeah,
What,
I mean, the men's
Balor?
division is such a mess.
I mean, but Triple H, right? He got, once again, he's going to get things on track.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt, one of the, who legit thinks he's getting a world title?
Ooh, Damian Priest?
Yes.
I look at him and I see them treating him like Dolph Ziggler. Like, if he does, it's for a month, if that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't... And it's not because he's not deserving. He's very good, but it's just not what they do. He kind of fits the bill as far as the WWE's approach to body style, but I just don't see them really putting a lot of faith in him, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, but again, though, you're missing the point. Like, you don't just get a title because you're deserving, right? You get a title because you put seats. Damian Priest put butts in seats?
I don't know. I don't think he does. I mean, he's good, but I don't think he's like he's certainly not a main event draw, at least not right now.
Because now you got to get through the obligatory, Finn Balor says, hey, thanks for the cash in, thanks for the briefcase.
Right, exactly.
Damian's like, no, it's my briefcase.
Well, he even said that in their version of the media scrum.
Mm-hmm.
I read that where, like, Damian was like, well, I was hoping Finn would win, then I could cash in on him. But he didn't win, so I guess I have to go another way. So it's like, well, shit, dude.
I look at these types of events, and it always makes me scratch my head. Like, I like Damian Priest, but the whole structure of the men's Money in the Bank match this past weekend was weird. You had Logan Paul, Ricochet, Damian Priest, Chad Gable. Like, literally none of the people that were in this match really were going to have a shot or will have a shot at being anything further than maybe kind of a small, very brief run as champion.
Yeah, but again, though, you're assuming that they're going to win. None of those guys. Was LA Knight in it when he in it?
Yes, LA Knight was in it. Thank you.
Okay.
That's the one I was missing.
So outside of him, nobody's going to care.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, LA Knight, he's extremely over and very popular, regardless of whether he's good or bad. He goes out, he does his thing, he says, yeah, everybody says it with him. It seems like simple math to me. Like, he's selling merchandise, he's drawing fans' attention. People are constantly talking about him on social media. Why not?
Well, the bad part is when Triple H, I think even Triple H brought it up there in the media scrum. I think you're screwed.
He says that... Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you finish because you got the quote.
Well, my understanding of it was he said, I know that LA Knight was the favorite, but not every favorite is going to win this one, but it doesn't mean he won't do something better, is basically what he said. And that is just like that is the most kayfabe response I've heard. Of course, it should surprise us. We're talking WWE media, not like what AEW does. There's no mystery to it. It's basically him saying, shut up. I'll do what I want. Basically like Vince does.
Yeah, well, I mean, once again, do we honestly think Triple H is pulling the strings right now, or do we think it's still Vince?
I guess it depends on the Zoom connection that they have. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, Braun Strowman's not champ. So.
Yep. And Braun Strowman wasn't champ all that long under Vince.
That's true. That actually is a good point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's a big guy. I think he's going to do well as champ. Oh, we're not making no money off this guy. We need like one and done.
Mhm. Very much so. Yeah. He beat Goldberg, which, I mean, come on. He beat a very, very much needing to be retired Goldberg. This is what it is. And he lost to The Fiend. That was it.
Remember, we don't use the box.
Maybe a couple months in between, like that victory to the loss. I don't think it was even very long. And that was only because of the pandemic. God knows what would have happened if the pandemic hadn't hit.
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I mean, this whole, like, I don't get, I don't get just what in the world is going on in Stanford at the moment. Like, do you not think that LA Knight's capable? I mean, Damian Priest, no offense to the guy, right? But I don't think there's anybody outside of his staunchest fans that sees him as a world champion.
I didn't see him as a U.S. champ.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he just has one of those characters. It's just like, I mean, there's been plenty of guys over the years that had the athletic ability.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of look at like Barry Windham. Barry Windham had the ability, but then when it came time for Barry Windham to be champ, it was like, oh.
Yeah, and that kind of speaks to Brian's point. I'm a big Damian Priest fan, but I was a Punishment Martinez fan before that, right? So when he was in Ring of Honor, he was doing some pretty cool stuff. And his NXT work wasn't bad either. So, granted, that was kind of towards the late parts of the Black and Gold era. So I had expectations different than that of what the main roster, I suppose, produces.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Again, you have Finn Balor, the Judgment Day, whatever that isn't it Judgment Day, whatever that thing is called.
Yeah, it's Judgment Day.
Yeah, so we have that, and that's going to now end in a feud. So, are you just going to end it, or are you going to go, a 3-man now, or what are you doing with that?
Dom's going to take over.
Oh, yeah, so there's another one. I'm glad you brought him up. I saw that little conversation in the chat, and I really didn't want to get involved too much. But Cody beating Dom doesn't do a damn thing for Cody.
Or Dom. It's like, basically beating Dom is like beating, this is going to sound bad, it's like beating Otis. It's really just not that big of a deal.
Well, it does, to me, it's okay for Dom because it gives him a big time match, right? But Cody should beat Dom.
Right.
There should be no question. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Why? What does it do for him? It does absolutely nothing for him. He's got Brock Lesnar probably in the wings. He should be able to beat him. And it's not just that particular chat string I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of them that are like, "Oh my God, this puts Cody over so well." No, he beat Dom. What does he put over?
They're purposely making angles for Cody just to prove a point that, oh no, that belt wasn't made for him. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I feel like they're doing, is they're purposely keeping Cody away from any title right now. And they're gonna, like, why in the hell does he have a feud with Brock Lesnar? And now Dom, like, who's next?
Brock.
Kofi Kingston?
No, it's Brock.
It's Brock
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've had my
that's
fill of Brock Lesnar. I don't need to see any more Brock Lesnar. Really don't. Like, the whole Cody thing still irritates me because it all goes back to Mania now, right? So his match with Dom could have easily been on Raw. We could have been done with it.
Oh no, man! This is Cody. This put Cody on the map. He beat Dom.
Who gave that idea out to the masses? I gotta know. Where did that thought process come from? Because Sonny said it, and you're right. There is other people that have said it in different, forums. I just don't understand it. Sure, he's hated. I mean, he gets a lot of heat. I'll agree with that. But how is that? I don't know.
I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, here's another one. Dom ever going to be your world champion? Dom ever going to climb up into the ranks of the IC title, US title? I get a tag team if Ripley tags with him.
I would love to see Gunther just make him a grease spot on the mat.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Even if he does climb, you're talking years. If they put a title on him now, they're absolutely mad.
Well, to me,
absolutely
it's just,
mad.
You can't have him beat Seth Rollins and have any kind of impact there. It's going to have so much shenanigans. It's going to make a TNA finish look tame. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be that overbooked. I just don't see it making any damn sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of these things where, because it's the WWE, you allow them to do some just off the wall, asinine, stupid things.
Yeah.
And then, in their mind, the only way they cope,
DIS,
fan, is to, like, make it smell like roses.
Plus, Pat.
I mean, that would be like, to me, it would be like, back in the day, Hulk Hogan wrestling Iron Mike Sharp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but then you're like, oh my God, this is putting Hogan on the map. He's beating Iron Mike Sharp. You know what? I mean, realistically, at this point in time in his career, if you still had the old school style of wrestling, where you had your hierarchy or whatever, that's where he'd be, right? I mean, we realize that, right? He'd be in match number 1.
Oh, I'm in agreement with you.
And don't get me wrong, I think he's got an upside. But can we please stop fawning over some of the bullshit the WWE tries to perpetrate?
God knows they try to perpetrate a lot.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, once again, they're talking about Triple H is like, yep, come August, it's going to be big, big changes again. You haven't changed on the first time.
What exactly could he be? I don't even understand the thought process there. What is he going to change?
Well, they're talking about, by the end of the year, when the contracts are down, we might have a new look for Raw and SmackDown. And I guess Vince is finally in August going to be like, no, it's all yours.
Yeah, because the whole sexual harassment and using company money to pay off your women kept him away. You know, like he signed a 2-year contract. He ain't going nowhere.
Right.
This is right up there. This stinks of that whole him and Stephanie standing out there going, "We want to listen to you all. Your voice matters." No, it does not.
Yeah, that promo certainly aged real well for them.
It's absolutely nuts. Especially some of these diehard fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, you gotta come to reality.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like people are watching. Like you think about it. If it wasn't for Vince and his whatever, and Rey Mysterio and his history with the company,
Mm-hmm.
where would Dom be?
On the Indies.
You know, like
F that.
Yeah.
he
Was
to me is this
for WWE?
right. I mean, he to me is this generation's David Flair. You know, like David Flair came in, wasn't ready to be in that level, and it showed. And what happened? They threw all kinds of shit at him. Gave him snoochie boochie. But like then you give Dom, who gets Rhea Ripley and tag team belts, and we're supposed to believe that Damian Priest and Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley are friends with him.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, it's. I remember when Dominic and Ray tagged up. I think it was at Mania when they beat the Usos for the titles. And Brian, I remember you saying that Dominic Mysterio sounded like a Vegas performer. Like the name Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that does sound like one of those places you might, like a Magic Mike name or something.
Oh no.
I mean, it does.
I mean, Dom is going to be the next world champ. I'm surprised I'm surprised Damian Priest doesn't get in the ring and just give it to him.
Don't put it past him.
Dear
Don't put it
Dom.
past him.
Would have passed him.
By the end of the night watch, somehow Dom will have that stupid briefcase.
So here's a question. Speaking of Money in the Bank, for the first time in 1,000 whatever, someone was pinned.
Yeah, that.
So like, who's going to be the first official person to pin him for making him lose?
You're talking about lose the belt?
Yeah. I mean, besides when he checks it at the baggage claim.
I don't know. At this point, I mean, they've clearly sidestepped the whole Cody thing. Their focus now is on the Usos against Roman and Solo, like the Civil War, which okay, sure. The Bloodline storyline last year was extremely good. I'll give you that. I agree. It was very good. But at this point of it all, like I personally don't see the Bloodline as that big of a story anymore. Like you.
What? Oops, sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Well, I just don't see the Bloodline as that big of a story anymore. Like the breaking up of the Bloodline was done in such a disjointed way. Like there's no logical reason for a working faction to just suddenly magically have strife and then just break up. There's no logical reason for this to be going on right now.
Yeah, but we're talking WWE logic.
Fair point.
Makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah. Like Roman hasn't lost in over 1,000 days, and then he gets pinned in a match that means literally nothing.
By multiple people.
But so I don't think it means nothing, right? I think it's a means to an end with the bloodline, but he's not losing that title. To the wanton chagrin of so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Roman's not losing that title to Jay or Jimmy.
No,
He's
not.
lost to Jimmy. Oh my God. Yeah. Because I think they've already announced next WrestleMania. I think they've already said Cody hits 40.
It's Roman versus Roman. It's a cinematic match.
Oh my God.
Produced by Matt Hardy at his compound.
Oh no. Why
Yeah,
not?
somebody dressed up like Roman.
And why did he cry? Or throw a hissy fit because he lost?
I don't know. He didn't lose the title. He didn't lose anything of bearing or merit. He just lost a tag match. I don't understand why he was so upset about it myself. Like, the definition of stakes in WWE is just so disjointed. It doesn't make sense. There's no sense of logic to it. There never really has been. It's just, as you said, the WWE logic of it. You know, it's Roman's on top. It's been over 1,000 days. He's going to be there for blah, blah, blah. And then most likely WrestleMania 40 is where he's going to face Cody. And he may not even lose to Cody then. That's the reality, because by that point, it's almost 2,000 days. No.
Well, I mean, again, a couple of years ago where they gave away the main event for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much gave the whole WrestleMania card the day after WrestleMania for the following year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been reading where it's Cody going to wrestle Roman Reigns at the main event of WrestleMania. I haven't seen who's supposed to win, but I mean, I don't understand the WWE logic. I don't know who's running that thing. It doesn't make sense to me a lot of times.
I mean, they're basically making money despite themselves.
Well, it's because you got like the diehard that like will suck anything down that they put on the table in front of them to drink.
Well, and that's like what's annoying to me as a wrestling fan is the fact that, like, they keep putting out product. They keep making T-shirts. They keep making all this stuff, and it's like their product is horrible. I mean, not horrible, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So then, but it just shows how big their fan base is of the people that just don't know any different. Mm-hmm. That it doesn't matter. They just keep selling. Like, what in the world? I mean, AEW pulls off shows like they do, matches like they do, and they're doing great too. And it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. It's got two companies doing money. But dang, it's just like Vince is just like, watch this. Let's see how stupid I can be. And people will still show up.
Supposedly there's going to be a NXT Europe sometime soon.
Didn't they already try that?
They did. They tried it, and it failed.
No, I thought NXT UK was doing all right until Vince got his hands in it and decided, no, bring them all over to Tampa because that's Europe.
Well, I would imagine now, though, you have Regal. So Regal would be a good one to send over there. And let him run it.
He's coming up on that the end of his non-compete with AEW, where he could show up on TV soon.
Yeah. Why have a non-compete if you let him go anyway?
Yeah.
It's not like it's a secret. Everybody knows he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Let the man show his face. Somebody put on Twitter, free William Regal. Let's start it.
It all depends on how many people get to see it. Did you see all that discussion about Twitter this weekend?
Oh, yeah. Hey, good for him, though. Got to make money. Why wouldn't you limit the number of free tweets you can look at?
Because there's people that are going to they're going to go over there and lob it at free treats just because they're mad.
That's what a lot of people did. There's people that complained they reached their rate limit because of all of the tweets they posted about it.
If you get close to 600 tweets, you should just get rid of social media.
Is that like a 600 lifetime or 600 a month?
No, that's a day.
If you're doing 600 a day, then you got no life. Or you're an influencer and can afford it, like Stan is.
I am most certainly not an influencer. Thanks for the vote of confidence, though. I appreciate that, but yeah, no.
Yeah, anytime you utter the word Shayna Baszler, you cannot be an influencer.
That's fair. It's also almost a guarantee that people will turn off the podcast as soon as we mention her.
But you literally have no life if you go through 600 tweets.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, what exactly do you have to talk about that much that you can't put in a blog post or something?
Yeah, but I think you can only look at 600.
Oh.
I read it.
Okay. Man. I mean, it depends on how many people you follow, I guess. If you're not following a lot of people, then it would take you a good while to be able to read that many. 600. God. Man, it kind of makes me wonder, because I can log into Twitter and just leave it and come back to it and look and see, okay, here's what people are talking about from Raw, or here's what people are talking about from Dynamite, or whatever. And, kind of see what the trend might look like. And now it makes me wonder, how many scrolls through my feed in an hour kind of thing, even if I don't touch it. Wow. Well, it just means that Twitter, like so many other social media platforms, will have jumped the shark and will ultimately fade into the ether, and something else will take its place.
No. I think you're going to get plenty of suckers that buy into it.
There are some people that are actually complimenting Elon Musk's purchase and usability of Twitter. They're saying it's getting rid of all the data mining and the pornography.
I didn't know there was porn on Twitter.
There's porn everywhere. It's not.
I just think a lot of people are scared because of the fact that he's going to let people say what they want to say.
Well,
and there's people out there, they're like,
Twitter, wasn't it?
Huh?
Wasn't that the whole point of Twitter, was to let people speak their minds?
Yeah,
That was
but
the whole purpose of all of social media.
Right.
Yeah.
But before, Twitter was being regulated by the people. Like, they would delete people's accounts, they delete tweets that, and suspend. I'm not even getting into the orange faced buffoon. I'm just saying it's just, when
No,
he bought it.
Years before that, they used to do that.
Right. So he bought it, and then he's like, I'm going to let people say what they want. And now, and people are like losing their minds, like, oh my God, it's not going to be my safe space anymore.
Well,
social media is never a safe space.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Again, because people don't know how to touch grass. They needed safe spaces, and Twitter was a safe space. Away from the Republicans and the conservatives and yada yada yada, and then Musk takes over and says, "Nope, forget all that." And now they got no safe space.
I'm not sure what social media platform you guys are talking about, but Twitter has never been a safe space in my opinion. There's some real ass clowns on Twitter.
But they did before he bought it, they were doing more of the picking and choosing, and now it's everybody.
Yeah, there were a lot of accounts that were banned and everything else on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, when they were privately held, they were for a long time. If somebody was like saying racial shit or whatever, like they would step in before anybody would ever report it or block or whatever. And then there was a period of time, I don't know it like verbatim, but there was a period of time where that kind of stopped. And then there's the obvious stuff with Trump that they stepped in and suspended his account, but that, it begs the question of, and I don't know where or care really where everybody stands as far as that's concerned, but you can't just take one without taking everyone. You got to actually be fair. It's the whole point of freedom of speech and all of that. So once you start delving in and starting to try to moderate it, and in my opinion, I think monetizing the platform is just a bad move business-wise. I don't think he's going to make any money, but he doesn't really need any money, so he's going to do whatever he wants.
Oh, I bet you there's enough them little blue checks.
Oh, I'm sure there are. There's a ton of people paying for it. Yeah, that's the shameful thing. Like, at one point, being verified on Twitter, I don't know if it had a lot of meaning, but it basically meant that you had a degree of credibility. And now it's just like, no, you have none.
But do you hear yourself there? I beg to differ. Just because you have a little blue check, that doesn't mean jack crap. That just means you got enough cult following to get a little blue check.
But I don't think you know enough about the platform to really say that. I think you use it so sparingly that it doesn't really matter to you as an individual.
Stan, it's Twitter. What more do I need to know? I know Twitter had
media platform.
I know Twitter had fact checkers, and half of them were wrong. I know if you didn't agree with a certain stance, you could get banned.
I had a blue check once, and I had to get rid of it in order to open myself up to be followed by a bunch of people. Like when we first started the show, I had a blue check, and it was like verified or whatever. And then remember I was saying something about like, oh, I don't have any followers. And you're like, oh, you got to kind of open yourself. As soon as I made the profiles a different way, it was like, no blue check.
Oh yeah, you had a protected profile. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
I mean, this isn't like some rocket science. This is Twitter. There are plenty of ways to get followers, and that doesn't make you famous. It makes you Twitter famous. There's a big difference.
Yeah, I still don't think you and I are talking about the same things.
Are we talking about Twitter, MySpace? That's what needs to come back, MySpace, when you can put some personality on your page.
Honestly, I thought MySpace was kind of neat. It was.
I mean, you could
It
put
was
your
pretty
own,
basic, but whatever.
yeah, I mean, you could put your little graphics, and you always had a friend.
You always had Tom. Wasn't that a thing,
Tom,
Tom?
yeah, Tom never did nothing to nobody.
Now we got Twitter, the Twitterverse. We got the Metaverse. We got. I'm sure there's other stuff. There's Reddit.
There's Truth. I haven't looked at it. Not even going to look at it.
Wait, is that an actual
Snapchat.
platform? I thought you were kidding.
No. There's Snapchat, where all the youngins are, because the young
Parler.
kids call Facebook old book.
Is Parler still a thing?
I don't know. Oh, Stan, I wanted to know something.
Sure.
Apparently, Virginia changed the laws July 1 about porn. Has that affected you at all?
Asshole. Oh my God. Doesn't affect anybody who's got a VPN. I'll just put it to you like that. Wow. We cover the gamut. We run the gamut of just oddities and odd shit.
That's what happens when we start a show with no topic.
Sometimes there's stuff to talk about. Other times it's just not. Like Dynamite was solid this week. I really enjoyed Dynamite. I didn't honestly, and I feel bad about it, but I didn't catch Collision. I still have yet to see it. I'll probably end up watching it maybe later this evening. I will say that based off what I have seen of Collision, that it's paced in a way that does give it a very unique feel and a different approach than that of Dynamite. But the wrestling quality is still just as top notch as everything else AEW has delivered. And here we are seeing a clip of Cody and Brock fighting again. Oy, no thank you. I know there was a marathon of Star Wars. It's been going on for the past 5 days, 6 days. the same movies just playing over and over and over again. Maybe I should just turn that on. MLW's not on tonight, are they?
Well, it's like on AMC, what it is, like Saving Private Ryan was on all weekend. Oh, yeah. We watched the old movie Clue yesterday, or the other day with the kids. They thought it was hilarious.
That's a great one. That's a movie that never gets old. Like, you can watch it at any point. It's always funny.
I found a role that I would love if I got back on stage. I'd love to be the butler. Just running around.
Did you ever see that when it was in the theaters?
No.
I saw it in theaters, and when they had all the different endings, we did like a double feature kind of thing where they played that and they played Revenge of the Nerds and some other stuff. But the one we went to actually showed the different endings. I'll never forget. That was the first time I saw them. That was neat.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I wonder how the movie stars feel after, especially like Marvel movies and stuff like that use so much CGI. Mm-hmm. Like their film.
Hello.
That's what that was.
What happened?
Well, it's like Tom. What's his name? Spider-Man.
Oh, Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. because he spilled the beans in the first movie he was in, they never told him any of the other Avenger movies what he was. Like his scenes, they would just give him his dialogue. They wouldn't give him who he was in a scene with. And so, like he said, there was actually times where he would be in a scene acting against like a guy that had a big tennis ball on a stick, and that's the only thing he could figure he was like with the Incredible Hulk or something. You know, he's like, what in the world?
That's what happens when you spill the beans on a multi-billion-dollar franchise by accident on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. That'd be a whoopsie.
Ode to have those kinds of problems.
Yeah. My bad. And then didn't you keep your job? I spill the beans on something like that. They would be like, get out. But you got what's her name? Oska coming out? What is it? I don't know how to say the name. In Star Wars.
Oh, Ahsoka.
Yep. Ahsoka.
That one starts.
We saw.
That's later this month, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw Transformers.
What'd you think of that?
Week. It was good.
Now, Brian, you've seen the Transformers movie, haven't you?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I think it was you that told me about the post-credit thing. I don't want to
maybe
spoilers if you haven't seen it or not.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I just think it's impressive that the same guys voiced Optimus Prime and everything.
He's really good. He's done a few different animated characters. Optimus Prime. He did he do Cobra Commander or something?
I don't know. I just love that. Calling all Autobots. That's cool. And Brian is right that the new movie falls in the trilogy after Bumblebee. And I said trilogy, and there's 5 movies, so never mind. 6 movies.
Well, I mean, I was just about to ask you, did they just abandon the other movies that are supposed to happen after Bumblebee? Is it like different?
It kind of is different. It goes a different way. It
Okay.
goes from Bumblebee to this. Then I guess they're trying to go to a different route to get away from Ladies Man 617. No.
I watched that with the kids the other day. They're like, "Why was this good?" I'm like, I liked the cartoons better. Like they had cool parts and all. Like some of the stuff was neat, but they did kind of change it up quite a bit in the initial ones that Michael Bay did.
Well, I thought it was funny that this weekend they were racing in Chicago. Mm-hmm. NASCAR was. For the first time, they raced on the streets in Chicago. And so everybody was posting pictures of the NASCAR race cars from the last movie with like Wahlberg.
Oh yeah.
They were like, here's what NASCAR is going to look like this week. And it had like the guns everywhere. but no. But I mean, yeah, I think they're just changing. I mean, the fact you got to look at it, what it was back when we watched it. And it's been almost how long since the originals came out? And it was really one of the first movies that hit that I watched that you can like deliberately see all the advertisements.
Oh, you mean like the product placement stuff?
Yeah, like it was like so deliberate in Transformers. You know, when the Xbox changes
How much do you suppose a deal like that costs to like set up with a movie? Hey, I want you to have a transformer that transforms from my Xbox to an evil Decepticon or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's good for the movie. It's good for them. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like when the girl found the signal and she saved it on her Panasonic memory card. Yeah. But we talk about it.
So Monday Night Raw just showed an advertisement for 2K23. And in 2K23 you have like virtual cards that you can get for achievements for your My Faction. This one was, of course, Money in the Bank themed. Do you want to know the 2 cards they just showed? Makes you wonder about the plan that they put into place. EO Sky is one of them. Guess who the other one is?
Who?
LA Knight. What? If you're supposed to be promoting your Money in the Bank winner, why wouldn't you put Damian Priest on that? That speaks to our point we made earlier, by the way.
Whoops.
Not the brightest. Not the brightest. Fight Forever came out last week. I played it quite a bit on the PC, and I've played it on the PS5. Initial thoughts on the PC, it actually ran pretty nice. I really, really like how the game looks. The appearance of it is very clean. There's some, and I consider this to be fairly minor. There are some glitches as far as like the, might not get this terminology right, the collision detection from like when you throw a punch or you deliver a kick. If you're in the vicinity of your opponent, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, your opponent will get hit, even though it's not actually directly hitting them. It happens a lot with the jumping off the top rope. It happens a lot with, what is that move called? The toe kick, where your character kicks towards the gut of your opponent. If you're standing in an almost catty corner to your opponent, you'll kick and it will not hit the opponent, but for whatever reason you'll hear the impact and you'll hear and then he's like doubled over. If I had a gripe, I guess that'd be it. I think that their goal as far as achieving like a no mercy feel and pick up and be able to play right away, I think they hit that out of the park. The playability, and Brian, we talked about it. I know I've watched quite a bit of YouTube stuff on it just to see what other people were saying about it. Honestly, I think they really hit a home run with the look and feel of the game. I mean, it definitely accomplished their goal to be a spiritual successor to No Mercy.
Tell them about the storyline.
So, do you want me to go ahead and go all the way through it? Like, do you want me to put full-on spoilers out there, or do you just discuss? What's that?
Just tell them how it works.
So basically, the storyline you can pick in Road to Elite. You can pick any character. You can create one, or you can pick one of the ones that are already made. And basically, you are starting from ground zero. Like you're at the beginning of AEW, and you get it starts off. You get a call and an offer to come work a match, and you work the match. You call. It comes in from Tony Khan. And from there, it develops an intro storyline. And actually, the storylines that I thought we would run into. I mean, there's not but so many you can really do, but you get like the tag team partner that doesn't really want to be your partner, or you don't really want to be his partner. You get the factions that want to invite you. Actually, I really like that part. You get, and there's a few variations of it. So, like for example, you're in a feud and your tag partner is Dustin Rhodes, and you're in a feud against like Ray Phoenix. And somehow Ray Phoenix will come up to you, whether you're out and about or you're backstage getting ready for your match, and basically talk about you might be Death Triangle material, but your partner definitely isn't. But they kind of like court you. I thought that was kind of neat. I haven't played many of the mini games. Brian, have you played many of the mini games?
Only a couple of them.
Like I played not very well, but I played the Join the Dark Order game where you have to go running around putting masks on people. I was awful at that. And then there's a trivia one, but I guess it would be my other gripe about it. The trivia one is not correct. Like there's actual trivia questions that aren't right. Like it lists 4 different people and it says who's competed most recently. And of the possible answers, you had Dustin Rhodes, Paul White, Bryan Danielson, and Adam Cole. No, not Paul White, Jon Moxley. And the answer of it, like the one who had debuted most recently, the answer should have been either Danielson or Cole. But it turns out to be Mox. That's just not right. Mox debuts in 19, Cole and Danielson are obviously in 21. So unless I just completely went dyslexic and misread the question. But those are the only 2 mini games I've played. I haven't really delved too much into that. I've watched online gameplay as far as people doing one-on-one matches. That looks like it plays very smoothly. If you have a solid internet connection, it looks like it's good to go. So I imagine it's only a matter of time before we mix it up there. And the cool thing is it also has couch co-op too. So if you've got multiple controllers, you're able to support up to 4 people locally, and even on the PC. So if you've got multiple controls on your PC, you could set it up. Or there's keyboard controls.
Keyboard controls, huh?
I don't know how much success you'd have with that. There's a lot of moving parts to the control scheme for Fight Forever. So it's like you've got the arrow pad, all right, so that moves your guy around, but then you've got to hit a button to run, a button to punch, a button to block. There's a lot of different buttons. So I don't know that I mean, give it an old college try, or you could just plug in another controller.
No, I think I'm trying to think the mini games. I've seen the Dark Order one. I've seen the chip. Casino chip one.
I haven't seen that one yet.
That one's okay, but it's not all that great.
Have you seen have you messed with the creation utility at all?
No.
It's not bad. I mean, it really does remind you of No Mercy and how that works. It's very similar. I love that they stuck with the meat and potatoes of that game. I think that was just the smartest move because, look, everybody has already played 2K if they're a wrestling fan. Somebody's already given it a shot. You got to have something different. You can't just stick with what everybody else is doing. And that's why I really liked that Fight Forever was going this direction.
A lot of these people have never seen 4 or 5 different types of wrestling games.
Yeah.
That's why they don't understand that this is more of an arcade style game than, fighting simulator like 2K.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I watched one video this morning, and it was what did it say? It said, "Fight Forever broke my heart." I'm like, bro, what are you expecting from this video game where it broke your freaking heart? And the guy's like, the controls don't seem quite right, and all I could think was, have you played anything else but 2K? Like, that was the thing that hopped into my brain.
And the answer would be no.
Yeah, I mean, with so many games out there, you got Fire Pro, which is a completely different scheme all to itself. You've got the 2K series, obviously. You've got, I mean, some have actually compared Fight Forever to kind of like how Def Jam Vendetta played, and I think that might be pretty close.
I don't remember how that played.
The only thing I really just could do without, and it's very much splitting hairs in my opinion, is the icons when you make impact on a big move, like the black square that or circle that vibrates out because you hit like a finish or a V trigger or a signature hold or whatever. Like I could do without that.
I am not a fan of how you
down here.
There should be an action. Huh? What'd you say?
You're not a fan of the witch now?
How you get the
Yeah.
The witch doctor. He's got
signature and then stand them up, or you got to get the signature and then like taunt the crowd or whatever it is. And
yeah. So the ability to assign different moves is cool. Like so you can assign 4 different finishers. As you play through Road to Elite, you earn stat points for your character where you can have multiple signatures and multiple finishers. That's pretty cool. The signature thing though, if you hit your signature once, you can hit it as many times as you want after that, as long as you connect. Like if he blocks it, then your signature's gone. But you can literally, I did this on easy again in just a regular exhibition. You can hit a V trigger like 6 times on your opponent, which is all right. In some Kenny Omega matches, that's accurate, but I mean that's a lot. I mean, you'd think it would eventually like time out of that. Now there's going to be some patching done, obviously. Like it just came out last week, and Kenny Omega did confirm, as did the developers, that this is going to be a continuously updated game. And they did say that the engine itself is owned by, excuse me, AEW, so they can make a release every year if they want. But for the time being, it's going to be continuously updated with DLCs. We've got DLCs at least for the next 6 months, I believe. Let's see.
well, what's next?
Well, the first one was FTR and Broken Matt Hardy. I believe the next one is going to be Danhausen and Hook. After that is going to be Keith Lee, the Bunny, and the Butcher and the Blade. And then I don't know what's coming after that. Let me pull that back up. I had the list somewhere. DLCs. Here it is. All right. So first was FTR on release date. Then on the 25th of this month is Keith Lee and the Bunny. And that also includes the MJF, Car Thrash, and Sloth Sling. I don't know what Sloth Sling is. August 22nd, Hook and Danhausen. That's it so far. I can actually pull this up here.
So what I get from the season pass?
All of those DLCs.
Well, So then why would I buy the gold edition? Get the season pass, the bunny, and Danhausen and Hook.
Mm-hmm.
If I get free. I mean, I think it's only $10, but because I bought the middle version. I thought I bought the high dollar version, but apparently I bought the middle version. Whereas the high dollar, you get Hook and Danhausen and the bunny. But if that's part of the season pass, what the hell does it matter? You know, why would they have another version for extra dollars?
Hopefully they have more planned after the next set. The apparent expectation is to have over 60 wrestlers by the end of season 1.
Maybe there's something more to season 1 than just wrestlers. Maybe there's something else to it. Maybe it's like an actual season where you score points and unlock stuff or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I think the titles look good in the game. I haven't figured out how in other matches except for the death match, how to actually get your character to bleed. Like, blood's turned on, but it only seems to be in the exploding death match that you can really get that to happen.
I haven't had that opportunity yet. I don't think I've been in a game where anybody's bled yet. I don't think. Take a chair to him.
I'm looking at the official site here, trying to see if there's any other news yet. Probably not. It's only about a week into it, so I haven't really done a whole lot with foreign objects outside of that. Although I did do the ladder match. That was kind of cool.
I haven't gotten too far into it.
Personally, I think it's a good start. I think it's the best way to put it.
It needs work. It needs improvement. I haven't seen any bugs. No people are reporting them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably give it a 7 right out the gate.
It's actually not a bad rank if you consider.
A 6 or 7. I wouldn't go no higher. They need to fix the bugs.
Yeah. I did see today that mods are already making the rounds. There's a mod out there where you can have the Ring of Honor ring. There's a mod out there for updating the outfits and textures of each wrestler. So it didn't take long for people to start digging in.
It never does. But I'm sure that stuff will be on there eventually anyway.
Yeah. Oh, see if there's really anything in the news. I don't really think there is anything. Oh, I did see this. This is kind of cool. Christopher Daniels' left eye is finally healed up. Did you see BTE today?
Mm-mm.
So there's a part of BTE where he kind of walks through the scene, and somebody just says, "Hey, whoa, what happened to your eye?" He's like, "Oh, I'm all better now." Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but I think he's like, I think it's been healed
Mhm.
for real for a while.
Mhm.
Just story wise, it's finally healed. Because I think I've seen where it looks better on previous shows or pictures or something.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Sting and Darby against Jericho and Sammy from last week?
As far as what, like, should he have jumped or not?
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you picked up on that right away. Yes. Do you think that that's something he should have did?
Why not? If he wants to jump, let him jump. I mean, why can't he? It's not the worst thing anybody's done before, right?
That's for sure.
Ultimately, Sting is the one who's going to make that call, to the, chagrin of, other fandom sites that were just roasting the poor guy, blaming Tony Khan. Sting, I'll lay you $1 million on the table right now. It was Sting's idea, and Sting went with it. It may not have been his idea, but he definitely signed off on it. There's no way Tony Khan was like, Sting, this sounds good. Why don't you do this? If he didn't want to.
You're right. There's confirmation that Sting actually had the idea to do it.
Yeah.
Sting's at that point in his career where he's just like, whatever, I don't care.
I mean, it could have happened to anybody. Those tables being set where they were were a little too far. It wasn't exactly Sting's fault.
But here's the thing, right? If he had hit it, we'd be talking about him hitting that move.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And we wouldn't even brought up anything. We'd be talking about what a crazy SOB that dude is. Right? For doing that at his age. But no, the table was out a little bit too far, and he got caught in the face. Not like he lost a face. He got caught in the face. Got a little blood on the lip.
Yeah, he was. He goes up there, he backs Darby off, and he jumps. And I mean, he jumps. It's a solid dive. I mean, I didn't think there was really anything wrong with it, but the landing, he hits his face right there on the side of the table. And it's like, oh my god. But he finishes the match. He keeps going. He even cuts a promo at the end of the night, when the cameras are off. Basically talking about how he'll probably have to have a few stitches, and he's probably lost a tooth. So, all things considered, I didn't know people were actually blaming Tony Khan for that. That actually was new to me. Doesn't surprise me, but it's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's one spot of knuckleheads that just absolutely despise AEW to the point that they actually think Khan would have, been able to make him do that if he didn't want to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like trying to get Ronald McDonald to sell Whoppers. Ronald McDonald sells Big Macs, and he ain't selling no damn Whopper. unless he wants to sell a Whopper.
Right.
But it just goes back to the ignorance of some fans.
Mm-hmm.
They're so caught up in one company's better than the other, in their opinion. Or they may not even watch wrestling anymore to begin with. I don't know. But ain't nobody telling Sting to do a spot like that unless Sting wants to climb up that ladder and do it.
Right. That's really amazing that that even at his age and stage of his career, that he would not just suggest it, but to go, yeah, okay, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Let's do the dive. Let's do it. Like, holy shit.
Well, it's like when we watched him at Dynamite,
Mm-hmm.
and he took the dive off the stage onto the table. We all looked at each other like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sting just dove off the ring. You know, like he didn't do that stuff back in the day. You know, the highest he jumped was the Stinger Splash, where we're like, one of these days he's going to miss and go right over the turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, but I mean, Terry Funk was in worse shape than him at his age, at that age.
Yes.
And he didn't care.
He was ECW champion at that time.
Yeah. Because again, if he hits it, we're having a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Which again is what's truly like, you know, again, if he hits it, oh, that's a crazy bastard. Oh man, you won't believe what he did.
Mm-hmm.
But he misjudged it, or the table was on a little too much.
Well, I think what happened. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, you know, I was talking about the one social group, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could almost in a way look at it like this, right? When Cornette climbed up on the scaffold, right? He didn't have the ability to say no. And he fell and got hurt. Sting has the ability to say no, and he did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So let's stop blaming promoters. And you know, that's like the Undertaker. You know, Undertaker came back and said, I want to do a Hell in a Cell. You're going to tell the Undertaker no?
Of course not. It's the Undertaker.
You may tell him don't climb up the cage.
Right.
We're going to put an elevator in this time, okay, Taker?
You could throw someone off, but you're to stay very, very close to the middle.
Yeah. You get up there, and then we have a crane that's going to bring you back down. Slowly.
I don't think there is a performer out there that will ever match the legacy that Sting is leaving at this late part of his career. I mean, this is like balls to the wall, who gives a shit, let's just do it mentality. I mean, it's like watching somebody, hell, like they're just coming fresh off the indies almost. It's just like, yeah, let's do it. That'll pop the crowd, let's do it. Like, it's pretty cool, and we're just in this, what do they call it, renaissance, like, of the career of Sting, because it's at some point he's going to ultimately be done. And he claimed earlier this year that this would be the last year, and then he said at the media scrum for Forbidden Door that he hasn't put a date on it yet. So it's just we're incredibly fortunate that we can have an opportunity to watch somebody that we've seen for so many years just continue to deliver really top level performances, especially when you consider how old the guy is. I know that's a repetitive thing, but Brian, you mentioned Terry Funk. These are once in a lifetime performers and performances. You won't get many opportunities to see somebody like that. thought that the promo that Jungle Boy Jack Perry gave on Wednesday was actually good. A lot of people kind of panned it and said that it wasn't very good and blah blah blah, that they just didn't make any sense. I honestly felt like he seemed relaxed. He seemed like he was into it, and the fans seemed like they were ready to boo him. I felt like it was good. I think it accomplished the goal, and we're only seeing just now the beginning of what could be really, really good for him.
That's still Jungle Boy, though.
That's true. That's true. I don't know how much further it'll get him than the FTW title, but maybe TNT.
I hope not. Well, I guess it'll probably happen one day.
Well, I don't get the feeling that out of the four pillars that we saw, I don't get the feeling that he's going to be the guy that's going to be, I guess the word is next in line, or the phrase is next in line. I feel like Darby will probably be world champion at some point. Obviously MJF is already. And Sammy will probably reach the world championship, but I don't think that Jungle Boy will.
Jungle Boy shouldn't have been in the ring with the IWGP champ at Forbidden Door. Like, I just don't feel like he's at that level.
Yeah, but again, it's not like it counted for anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's running back to Japan and we're gonna feud over this title.
Right. That's why he dumped Hook.
I was kind of surprised he got in as much offense as he did against Sonata. That was pretty gracious for Sonata to allow him to make it look like there was even an inkling of a possibility.
At the end of the day, we don't know who booked that idea anyway.
That's true. I mean, that could have been a New Japan thing.
I mean, they could have drawn straws. They could have picked names out of hats.
Thrown darts at the dartboard.
He's right. You're right.
A random name randomizer.
Right.
TNM.
It wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time TNM has been thrown out there.
That one's sealed.
Is what Tony uses. It's not like they make like a database for booking shows outside of those kind of programs. I'm still confused as to how is Natalya on Raw? Isn't she supposed to be on SmackDown?
Mm-hmm.
What did she win all her Guinness Book of World Records the other day for?
Matches. Most matches in WWE. Most consecutive matches or something.
So we're making up records.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Let's see.
Like, Stan, here's your world record for most days without taking a bath.
Six Guinness World Record certificates for her WWE achievements. Here we go. Most WWE Premium Live Event appearances for a female star. The most matches on WWE SmackDown for a female star. The most matches on WWE Raw for a female star. The most WWE WrestleMania appearances for a female star. The most WWE matches for a female star. The most wins in WWE for a female star. I'm not saying Natalia sucks or anything. Don't get me wrong. She's all fine and good, but like, what the hell did Natalia ever do for WWE that made her the focal point like that? Because she's not a focal point on TV. Like, has she traded people in NXT? Does somebody know something I don't know?
I mean, Guinness would keep track of it. The WWE would, or they would have to verify her or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure the WWE was like, "Oh my God, this is a world record."
See, Guinness does, like, they're the reason that WWE has records, because AEW counts their own, and so WWE's got to be like, hey, Guinness, like, can you help us out? We can't count crap.
I mean, the Guinness Book of World Records is supposed to be legitimate, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have multiple people viewing you, and they've got to be there and watch you. Like, they don't take your word for it. Because I have to say that at one point I was in the Guinness Book of World Records as part of a team, but I was when I was
now you
up
got to
with
break
people.
It down for us. Okay.
Up with people, we did. How many people can you stick in a VW Bug? I think we got 19
in a VW
20?
Bug.
Yeah.
Not a VW Bug.
I say that I was part of the team because I was the one that had to shut the door. So the doors had to shut for it to count. And the Guinness people were standing right there. And so it stayed for a little while. I think it was over, like, I think it was beaten like a couple years later, but yep. I never won anything in my life.
I can't believe that's an actual record. Wow.
Come on. They got to have that record. If they have person has the longest fingernails, like, that's just nasty.
That is pretty gross. Wow. Most people crammed in an old-style Volkswagen Beetle is 20. Was achieved by Asbury University Emancipation Project and Lexington Rescue Mission in Lexington, Kentucky, in December 9th of 2010.
See?
Wow. That's a pretty good record amount of time, then. That means you guys held it for like 10 years? Because it's 2000.
Holla.
Nice job. You get royalties for that?
No.
Get any
I
kind
don't
of
get nothing.
You don't get like a medal or anything, or a plaque? Or...
No. That's back before everybody had to get a trophy.
You don't even get like a free issue of the book? Or...
I think I had a copy of it for a while. Like, we all got one, and then, and there's a video on Facebook somewhere of the actual event of us breaking the record. I mean, we literally had 2 people in each floorboard folded, one in each, like, one folded in the dashboard. Jeez. Yeah, so it was, everybody got really close.
Yeah. Aren't you glad you used dial? Don't you wish everybody did?
Should have seen their faces when we were planning it, and I'm like, I'm going to get in there and lay on the bottom. And they're like, no, you're not.
Where were you guys at when the record was set? Do you remember?
I think we're in Finland.
I may have actually found it. Standing record was set in 2000 by folks in Kremser, Austria. Is that possibly you guys?
No.
Wow.
So we were before that, 98, 99.
I am legitimately intrigued.
Because I think we held another record of like how many nations in a sauna at one time. So, but alas, with that and $3, you can buy a soda.
Do you have like money for tax? Because it all depends on how big the soda is.
Dude, we got some takeout the other day, and it was almost $10 in taxes.
They got crazy fees on everything now. Like when we were at the apartment, DoorDash and Grubhub and stuff was kind of a normal thing. Delivery fee $5 wasn't so bad, but somebody out here like delivering in Locust Grove is like $10. Jeez.
Yeah, so, but we should get a record as like podcast, best wrestling podcast.
Best ever. Jade Cargill says she is not returning to AEW anytime soon. What's that about? Let's see. Jade Cargill has not been seen in AEW since she lost the TBS Championship to Chris Statlander at Double or Nothing back in May. Took to Twitter yesterday and shared some photos. Fan responds to her asking if she's going to be coming back to AEW anytime soon, where she simply responded, no. Okay. And that's the news, folks.
Yeah, and nobody cares.
The trial of Roman Reigns is set for SmackDown this Friday.
Trial on what?
This is a WWE press release. They're at Madison Square Garden. This Friday night at Madison Square Garden, live on SmackDown, we're putting the tribal chief on trial. After all this time, it's tribal court, the trial of the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. We going to replace him with, Rikishi? Like, what are we doing here? We're going to break the table? I don't understand. What are the consequences of this trial?
Rikishi's got to come out going, I am the head of the table.
Oh, John Cena came back at Money in the Bank. How about that?
And he cut a promo.
Yeah, he cut a promo, talked about WrestleMania coming to London, which apparently nobody in WWE knew he was going to say that. Nor is there an actual plan currently for that to happen. Oh, he did hit the attitude adjustment on what's that guy's name? Grayson Waller. If you're not sure who that is, don't worry. You're not the only one. guys see that I lost a bet to Sonny?
Or is that why your status said that what it did the other night?
Yeah. I was actually kind of surprised it didn't get brought up, but it was a bet about Cody and Dominic, and he was saying that it was basically a guarantee Cody was going to beat Dominic. He was one of the ones that was talking about how big of a deal it was. But I just simply stated no. What will ultimately happen was, or what would be happening is that Brock Lesnar will either interfere and cost him the match, or Drew McIntyre will come out and we'll get a heel turn from McIntyre. Well, Drew did come back, did not do a heel turn, but he is looks like he's slated to be feuding with Gunther, and Brock Lesnar came back tonight. So, because I lost said bet, I had to post the status that said that Sonny is like a genius wrestler guy or something like that.
So what bet did you lose at home that you have to keep saying Shayna Baszler is the best?
I haven't.
Oh, whoops. Awkward. Backing out.
I have no response for that, so I shall just take a small bow.
Yeah, I will exit the room and take a small bow.
Special thanks to Brian for allowing me to follow him yesterday, as I was just basically watching him destroy everybody in Diablo while my character just stands there. I lost count of how many times he said, "Why are you still swinging your? Why are you still hitting these things? They're dead." So I'm just sitting there holding the button as Brian's just exploding people as we're walking through. Multiple times I was saying, "Oh, I'll just pick up this stuff. Thanks. Okay, cool. Okay." I don't know the cutscenes that I missed, but I know that I made. How many levels was it last night? Was it 3 levels last night?
3 or 4.
Yeah, it was solid. I mean, clearly you've put the work in. Are you still at 58 now for your character, or are you leveled up any higher?
60.
Damn. I'm at 46.
I mean, it's not that hard for the amount I play. So.
How many hours do you think you've put in on it so far?
Quite a bit. I wouldn't know total, but quite a bit. A lot.
Did you unlock hardcore mode yet?
Huh?
Did you unlock hardcore mode yet?
You don't have to unlock hardcore mode. All you gotta do is create a character.
Oh, I thought that was an unlockable.
I don't know what unlockable usually does. But hardcore, all you gotta do is create the character and make them hardcore.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's my bad. That's the one where if your character dies, you're done. He's gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. If he dies, he dies. dies. He dies.
You still pick up Diablo Immortal at all?
No.
No.
Nothing like this one.
No, it's not. We got to get Rob into playing those. Get the three of us all playing together.
Holla.
That's your next task, Rob. Diablo 4. Get the standard edition. You don't have to do anything fancy. If you want to, you can. Put it on your Xbox. And you, me, and Brian can go through and just go whomping and stomping through all the different dungeons.
In other words, I just follow you all around. Smack the trees.
You'll follow Brian. If we use my current character, you and me will both follow Brian. I swear to God, I walk in and there's a big bad guy. It's like they call them elites, and I'm all pumped up. I'm like, this is cool. I can't wait to see what happens here.
And he throws you through the wall.
No, Brian explodes him before I even get set to press a button. His character is pretty damn amped up. I'm just watching.
It's getting there, I guess. It's getting there.
Yes.
I'll be right back. I gotta let the dog.
Okay. Rob, also, we need to get you into Fight Forever. And also, while we're spending your money, we want to get you to a nice computer so you can settle in and start playing games. And yeah, that's just a start. That's the next 6 months,
Yeah, I can't get a PC before my son does, so.
Is he still pretty heavy into like Fortnite?
Was that for Rob?
Yeah, it was. Rob?
What?
Is your son still pretty heavy into Fortnite?
Yeah, Fortnite, Call of Duty. He's big into COD. He doesn't play Fortnite much anymore, he says. He plays Call of Duty and Forza, The Crew. He plays Crew 2. Forza, GTA. Those good Christian games.
Has he ever played Five Nights at Freddy's?
No. He says he has, but never again.
Oh, wow. Was it just that bad, or he just didn't like it, or did it scare him?
He just didn't like it.
That's the game my kids are talking about all the time.
Yeah. I have the issue with the game as being involved with kids at school. It's just like you listen to them talk and then you look at the game and you're like, ah. Certain age, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you got second graders talking about it, you're like, okay.
Well, supposedly there's a movie coming out. Well, not supposedly. There is a movie coming out this October based off of it.
There's also a Winnie the Pooh movie coming out, Blood and Honey.
Oh, my God. That's already out.
And they're working on a Mickey Mouse one.
Oh, Lord.
Because Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse becomes public domain.
Jeez. A horror movie Mickey Mouse. I mean, he's a mouse, right? So it's going to be pretty small, so he's going to have to, like, bite their ankles off first.
Yeah. Woo. That got loud quick.
Well, that's what I had for this week. I don't know if you guys had anything else. Trying to see if anything's coming up this week. Let's look this up real quick while we got a minute. We got the announcement of Blood and Guts for BCC versus the Elite. That's going to be in Boston on July 15th. That was this week. This week coming up, we've got Kenny Omega against Wheeler Yuta, Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee in the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament against Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. Britt Baker and Ruby Soho in the first round match of the Women's Owen Hart Cup Tournament. That's all that's confirmed for this week. The Blind Eliminator thing, I thought we were away from the whole, like, random pairings and stuff like that with AEW. Although Swerve and Keith Lee isn't really random. It's just putting them back in because they're, I don't know. I don't like the random stuff, but that one actually could turn out to be a good idea.
Okay.
Well, I reckon that'll do it for us this week. Let's see here. Catch up with Rob on Twitter or any of your favorite social media, but Twitter is where he's at currently. Rob Hefner C2C. Catch up with Brian at Vlad Dragul C2C. Make sure he's one of your 600 views. And you can also catch up with me at Stan Grubb C2C. The show is at C2C Radio Show and C2CRadioshow.com. Thanks again for listening, everybody. We will see you next week. Have a good night.